in other ways? I mean, we saw you kind of pseudo coaching during games, or were you doing kind of stuff behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was doing anything really different behind the scenes, but I relied on communicating, because I couldn't physically be out there. So it was a different type of communication that I was learning about, like you said, like pseudo coaching. And it appeared to me that, I guess, and my teammates told me, like there's people that you listen to. And I realized that I was even someone that my teammates listen to even when I'm not on the court. So I wanted to be very careful about how I communicated with everyone, how I empowered people, for us to be able to get better, because, we had a few weeks where we were really grinding it out. And ultimately the constant message that I gave my team was like, I don't care about the outcome. It's about how it happens, whether it's a win or a lose, it's about how we win and how we lose. We need to make sure that we're getting better. And I think by the end of the break, we understood that.
Ross Little with second sports. Nneka, what was the timeline and activities that you started to ramp up into getting back on Final Five with the team?
Yeah, so I would say it was what June. I sprained my knee on, I think it was June 3rd, I think. I sprained it on June 3rd, in Dallas. So my prognosis was like 4 to 6 weeks after that. So at 4 weeks, actually a week, I did a week of nothing, really, just kind of like icing and stuff. And after that first week, I started lifting. It was mostly upper body and like single leg lifting and conditioning. So I did that for like the next 3 weeks. And then I saw the doctor again. And then after that, I was cleared to do like court stuff. So then by the time 6 weeks came was when the break was over. And I was on the court shooting. I did shoot around with the team the last week before the break. And then the week after that, I was in Vegas with Team Nigeria and I practiced with them. And since then, I've just been on the court. I've been with the team, obviously, these past couple weeks, but I've been doing my own court workouts from when the break started to now.
Everything feels the same.
Everything feels like each day, the way I can describe it is like each day is incrementally better. I think that when you suffer kind of like an injury like this, you still are a little ginger at times, but I try to put that out of my mind because I think that's kind of what contributes to limited action and limited capabilities. It's a mental thing, and I'm sure a lot of athletes can talk about, can talk about this. So each day is better, and it's better because like I have a great team with me, and I make sure that I do my daily vitamins every day, my workouts, my activations and all that. And so I love that I feel like 1% better each day. Yeah.
I know you as a very cerebral person. It was an interesting break. How do you now wrap everything that happened to you through the Olympic break into the second half of the season?
I probably have to say it's been a lot of like trying to figure out how I want to come out of this, because I think when you endure situations that are tough in life, you can choose many different roads. And there's stages, and so now I'm just really grateful to be playing with my team. I'm grateful to be on a team with people that care about me. And I just want to play. I just want to play basketball. And they always say like situations in trials, you grow stronger. And what is inside of you is kind of like exacerbated. And so I would like to say that out of that, like I've always been described as resilient. And I think I had to kind of tell myself that a lot to make sure that I believed it, because it's been a few weeks of feeling unvaluable, or unworthy. And so like, it's been very difficult. I'm sorry.
I know.
I swear I wasn't gonna cry. It's been very difficult. So I just want to play basketball. I'm sorry, you guys. I just want to play and have fun.
Kind of seeing some of the support that you got from your teammates. I mean, they made those shirts with your face on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had your back.
Yeah, they always have my back. I have teammates for life. Candace always has my back. So it's just been great to be on the court again.
How much is that kind of, what is that like?
go through this together.
Yeah, it was funny because Chene and I, like, we both kind of like fell into this at the same time, and so we were like, oh, we're rehab partners now. But Chene has several jobs, so I've been trying my best to like understand that while also making sure she gets healthy. But Chene, she juggles a lot, so being able to kind of like witness that and also like support her it's been a really cool journey. But she also wants to get back out there too. And then for her, you know, it's really just about playing healthy. And we obviously have an amazing team out here that gets us that way. And she and I, we just want to get back out there. And she's going to do what she can. I know Sinead, she'll throw everything out there. But she's been juggling everything quite well. Yeah.
Pick 3 from the Zoom. Go to Michelle Vogel of ESPN.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Nneka, please don't ever apologize for crying. And if you ever don't feel valuable, you should feel as valuable as any sports person in this country, honestly. And I mean that sincerely. So, but I want you to know how much all of us admire how you've handled this. And I want to say that publicly. You've handled it better than anybody could ever have expected to.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, we actually were just on a Zoom with Elena Deladon, you know, who's trying to come back now. She's been out far longer, but she was just talking about the mental aspect of even when you're away from competition a little while and trusting your body and trusting your instincts. How do you feel from that perspective now? Do you, like you said, do you feel like you can go back and be the Nneka that you are? Does it take a little while to build up that trust?
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting question. And I think like something that happens like with athletes is that, you know, you were playing a certain way before something happened. And so that's kind of the standard by which you measure, you know, your progress. But for me, it was less about like, okay, I need to get back to like Nneka, and more about like, okay, what Nneka is about to rise from the ashes out of this, you know? I know how strong I can be on the court. I know how I play. I know what I bring. And I've kind of spent this time trying to figure out, okay, what can I do better? You know, what are the things that I can work on coming out of this that maybe I wouldn't have ordinarily had the chance to had I been playing all these games. And so one thing that I've noticed about myself is that my teammates are probably gonna laugh about me, like my old teammates, I like really love lifting. And I did not always like it. You can ask Roz. I did not always like lifting. And so like I've loved lifting because it like keeps me strong and it keeps me it keeps everything intact. So being able to do those types of things, activation and such, but more specifically, you know, like I've been able to kind of create a quicker release on my shot. And then I've also been able to understand one thing that a lot of people don't get is like, as a coach, of course, you know, you are coaching and you can't be out there, but as a player, when you're out that long, and then you go out, you can now see the things that you were suggesting other people to do. You can now be out there and do it. And so with that regard, I would have to say that there's all these little details that I wouldn't have necessarily had the time to be this new version, not really a new version, but, you know, like a tweaked version of Nneka that's moving up and forward.
Time for 2 more on the Zoom. We'll go to Sue Favor with Women's Hoop World.
Hi, Nneka. I just wanted to piggyback on what Michelle said and just tell you how much we appreciate your class and dignity throughout this whole time, and that sure is nice to see you back there. I know it was probably really hard for you to sit out that amount of time, the longest time. What have you seen from the sidelines? What do you think you can do to contribute right away to the team right away? Because I know you guys probably want to get back in the win column pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know, I think that what I've noticed about our team is with the types of players that we have, and when I say that, you know, we have a younger group than we've had before in the past. Temperament is very important for us, and I think that really that helps us go, and then it can also cause a little bit of disruption when we face kind of, you know, tough times during the game. And so maintaining our composure has been a point of emphasis for us. And I really think that can really help us. Another thing that I love about this team is no matter how we're playing, defense is not compromised. We are going to play defense. And so now developing the chemistry and continuing from there, especially as, you know, we're kind of entering a new season with the second half, and also with a new team almost, because Chene, I think, played 3 games. I played 6. And then KT sat out for like a handful of games before this break. So as we develop that chemistry too, on defense, I think that's really what's going to fuel us to be able to know each other on both ends of the floor.
Last question for Nneka will go to Rashawn Haylock with KTLA and Spectrum Sportsnet.
He heard you.
Rashawn, are you there?
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, Nneka. Nice to see you back. You are so valued. So please never think that you're undervalued. How are you addressing this period? Is this sort of like a full-blown new training camp as you are all trying to get reacclimated with one another, or I mean, is it possible to even pick up where you left off, considering, you know, that the handful of games you played, the handful of games KT played? How are you addressing this?
You know,
I should say.
Yeah, sure. I would say that, you know, this is more so kind of like a tune-up. It's kind of like a team service, you know, like we're servicing ourselves right now. And we're polishing some things, you know, we're working out some kinks, and building off of what we already know. Of course, building chemistry with players that have been out. But we're definitely getting better. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like a training camp, but we're testing ourselves in ways that give training camp feels, but we still have the foundation by which we started this season. And we really want to take, I think, a microscopic approach for a macroscopic outcome. You know, we have Indiana next, and we want to focus on that. And we have a 15-day road trip. So after those 3 games at home, so I think that we're really trying to make sure that our laser focus is there for us to be able to build on a string of wins, a string of great games, and moving up the column.
All right, thank you, everyone. Kristi Toliver will be next.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Nneka.
Thank you. Thank you.
In-person questions for Kristi Toliver. You guys can just take turns.
How does it feel to kind of be back? I know you may have been practicing a little bit before the break, but just kind of get on the other side of the break, and how does it feel to get back into kind of season mode?
Good. Yeah, I hadn't done anything for like over a month and a half. So it's good to like sweat again, get up and down, and, you know, get my lungs back and touch the basketball and be out there with my teammates. So it's been good.
What was your kind of bird's eye view of how the team kind of soldiered on without you? Nneka was out, Chene was out, and how you think it carried on?
I thought it spoke a lot about our team's overall character, resiliency. You know, it's not an easy situation for them to be in, you know, out on the floor with, you know, layers and layers trickling as the season continued. I thought they did great. I'd give them an A for everything, because just a matter of the level of composure that they played with, you know, playing through the fatigue, playing, you know, not making excuses, you know, understanding we were short on numbers, and they were asked to do a lot, and probably asked to do more than they were expecting. So I think that will certainly carry over to this second half of the season, this new season. You know, a lot of them were able to get outside of their comfort zone, to get a lot of experience, on-court experience that maybe they would not have had. So, you you never want that. You never want injuries. You never want to, take L's like that. But I think in the big picture, there's a lot of growth and experience gained.
Rod's going on with instruction sports now. What were the things that you worked on game-wise or body-wise? Did you work on parts of your body, things like that, just coming back into the second half of the season? Certain moves.
Well, I think, as you get older, you can always add things, but at the same time, it's just sharpening the tools that you already have. So for me, I want to continue to get downhill a little bit more, not just rely on my 3-point shot, mix it up, stay, don't be predictable as far as getting to the rim, mid-range 3. In the first half of the season, I was more off the ball. I think we'll probably explore a little bit, putting me all over the place. So being, working on being in the pick and roll and being involved in that, making the reads, understanding there's probably gonna be a lot of pressure there. It's even just 5 practices with Nneka, just building that chemistry again and understanding our places on the floor and utilizing one another's strengths. For me, it's all about just being out there and using my natural ability and instinct. I'm always going to try to get better, whether it's ball handling, 3, off the dribble, spot shot. I mean, there's a bajillion things you can be better at. I like to keep things really simple, and that's being able to score at all 3 levels, and then just making the right reads.
Injuries were such a big part for this team for the first half of the season. What do you have to do as a team again to get to that playoff spot?
Stay healthy. That'll help. That's most teams on every level. NBA, you saw it in the NBA this offseason. These guys don't stay healthy. You're not gonna make it to that next level. So that's the one thing. I think for us offensively, we've put a lot of attention on that for the second half, because I think that's where we kind of struggled the most, of just being able to read one another, building that chemistry, and that takes time. But defensively, we know we're sharp. We know we're top 1-2 defensive team in the league. But I think offensively, just understanding space, pace, anticipation, setting the right angle screen, the setups, all the little detailed things. That's the growth that's happening right now. And so that's a good sign.
I know you missed a few games as well, but Nneka's back on the court. How great is it to have her out there? What does she bring to this team?
Absolutely. I mean, she brings a ton. She's one of the foundation pieces of this team, and her leadership, her positivity, her athleticism, her IQ, her experience. I mean, she's got all the levels. So just to have her presence back on the floor will speak dividends for us, whether she's 100% or not. It really honestly doesn't matter, because her presence on the floor is going to be a game changer for everybody.
You have a nice opportunity in being out to watch the other guards play a lot.
Yeah.
So did you take anything from watching how you guys could work together in tandem with like a Wheeler or Coop or something?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was watching for the last month of the first half, I pay attention to my teammates defensively. For me, that's always an area that I want to continue to improve on, and those guys are really good. And so for me, I'm watching Slam, I'm watching, E, Coop, how they can get into the bodies, how they can dictate where the defense goes, where they pick up. So I was really locked into them, honestly, more defensively than offensively, just as a teaching tool for myself. But yeah, offensively, again, like the chemistry is being built even now, just in practice, 4-on-4, not even 5-on-5, 4-on-4, we're just able to read one another better. And, Fish and our coaching staff has done a really good job of just getting those simple, basic, annoying, drills, making them become habits, just driving kicks, just knowing, the timing of things. Because with younger players, they don't necessarily always know. You can't assume. And so just kind of understanding, their tendencies of what hand they prefer to go to. So I know where I need to drift or where I need to be on the floor so that they can see me, stuff like that. But initially I was really watching them defensively, because I think that's what's going to help our team elevate to where we need to be.
Can I ask about Nneka? Just like, what have you learned about Nneka? Kind of both, this season being here with her, but seeing her come deal with injury and also deal with this disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known Nneka as just a high character, high quality person. And so, you know, not everyone is able to handle adversity in the way that she has. And to me, like, I don't expect anything less out of Neck, but I know it's easy to say that when you're experiencing it and experience letdown and, you know, frustration with an injury, and then certainly with USA, you know, there's two directions you can go in when that sets in. You can pout about it, be pissed, and, you know, not be a good teammate and sulk and, you know, be an energy taker, or you can just be that light. And Nneka is always that light, for herself, for us. Any room she steps in, any court she steps on, you know, her presence and positivity is going to be known and felt. And, you know, I'm proud to be her teammate. She was one of the main reasons I wanted to come back to LA. So, disappointed for her and what she missed out on. But, you know, I told her there's a bigger lesson down the road, and you just don't see it yet.
The two from Zoom, Sue Favor with Women's Hoop World. Sue, are you there?
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't able to unmute. Hi, Kristi, Sue here. Two-part question really quick. One, what did you and your teammates do to uplift Nneka during the challenging period that she just went through? And then two, can you say a few words about Coach Trammell, Latricia Trammell, and what she brings to your team?
Yeah, I mean, with Neck, I think everybody kind of touched her one-on-one. We didn't do anything as a group. I think that would have been kind of awkward for her. Like, Nneka probably wouldn't have enjoyed that. I know I spoke to her on the side, and we had a, you know, quick, good, easy conversation. And like I said before, these guys, like, if anybody can handle that type of adversity and that type of disappointment, it's Nneka. And she's gonna have a great run in the second half of the season. She's gonna be excited, and she's probably more enthusiastic than ever to just be out there and playing. So, and she knows that, you know, everybody, the whole team had her support, 1000%. Coach T, LT, whoo, that lady, she is really good at what she does. But her spirit and her enthusiasm, she can trick anybody into playing defense hard, like anybody. And that's a gift, you know, that she's gifted. She's just a quality person. And I'm so glad and thankful that I'm able to be coached by her. You know, obviously she wasn't on staff when I was here before. So I'm super thankful and excited, and for now, for the future, and just continuing to get better, because she makes you better. It's not even an option. Like, you're going to get better if you're in her presence.
Last one for Kristi. We'll go to Rashawn Haylock with KTLA and Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Kristi. What were your observations just while you were out in terms of, you know, what you saw from the team in ways that are fixable by you, or that you can come in and immediately impact?
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely moments of, you know, there was youth on the floor, you know, certain moments where some bad habits crept in, some composure was lost here and there. But honestly, overall, I thought they were great. You know, there's always ways, no matter who's on the floor, there's always ways to get better and improve. I think just, you know, me being on the floor again will just help with the overall feel. It'll help with the overall spacing that it creates for our, you know, younger guys to get downhill and go do their thing. And just like a presence of just calm, you know, that's it's weird saying that now, because I used to be really like a loose cannon. But now at the, you know, ripe age of 34, I've kind of brought it down. And so just having the different levels of personality, demeanor, I think I'll bring a little bit more of just an even keeledness to our team when things get helter-skelter, and that's going to happen. But I'm really looking forward to it. And I think that already, like, the younger players have grown from just part one of the season to now kind of training camp 2.0 to now as we enter the second half.
All right, thank you. Derek Fisher will be next.
No, they tried to pass them off to me. I just had one too many.
How often do you eat cupcakes? Like once a year on your birthday?
Well, thankfully we have 5 kids together.
Yeah,
So, you know, like I said,
Okay.
but they're twins, so it's like all in one, you know?
All
So a few times a year,
right.
cupcakes and some cake. And they had a wedding last month, so I got some cake.
Congratulations.
There's a lot of cupcakes and cake.
Yeah.
What's the, am I supposed to leave this on or take this off?
You can take it off if you want. Yeah, same thing, start in person, so you can jump in.
Well, Coach, Roscoe was Spectrum Sports, but first of all, I mean, I know it's been a beautiful break for you, so congratulations on all the personal.
Thank you.
You know, now coming back into practice, just curious what the ramp up has been like.
Yeah.
You know, what are the first things you're trying to do, maybe the first few days back, and then as you get closer to the game?
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, we're fired up. Like we really are. We believe that although like our record is what it is, we're not running from that or hiding from that, but we do feel like we have a great opportunity this second part of the season to continue to push forward some of the things that we've already shown despite our record. We feel like we have a team that's built off of character and integrity and grit. You know, we get after it, we get after people, and those are things we want to continue to bring forth into the second part of the season. So we've been ramping that back up, you know, being able to play with a level of intensity and competitive spirit that can carry the day for the most part. And then as we've gotten healthier, great to have Nneka back on the court, Kristi back on the court. Sinead's really close as well. You know, I think we can become a more efficient offensive team that will bolster a really solid defense, give us some depth that is much needed, and then, you know, let it all hang out from there. So we've just really been trying to progress the right way with players returning, but it's been fun. And I thought today, the last couple of days, we've been able to, you know, get up and down in some 4-on-4, 5-on-5 situations, and it's been really good to see.
When did you guys start as a team?
We started with like informal, kind of voluntary workouts for players who were already in LA, July 28th or so, somewhere in there. Some of our players, you know, they got back to LA around the 25th or 26th, and then we had to get one lab COVID test, make sure that was negative. And then we were able to kind of start individual workouts. And then as a team collectively, Monday, a week ago, we had the full group. So we've been at it for about a week, but we tried to progress smartly, knowing that we had a few players that haven't played basketball in a couple months. And then, you know, players that were completely exhausted and wiped out that had been away from it for a couple weeks. So we tried to be smart, but it was clear that our players were rested, recovered mentally and physically. And so, you know, we just want to try to build on that and make sure by the time we get to Sunday, August 15th, that all of our players that are here can be available to play.
And last one, just we heard of everybody except for Sinead so far. So, you know, what's to expect on her role?
Yeah, no, Sinead is progressing quite well, honestly. She did some of our non-contact things yesterday, today. We've been covering a lot of just kind of defensive and offensive, I guess, updates to some of the things that we did in the first part of the season. She's been able to participate in, but still not any live or full contact work for her just yet. But we're not ruling Sunday out, but we're still going to be smart. You know, it's so good to see her out on the court with her teammates, like we've been able to the last couple of days. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves and, you know, put her in jeopardy, which then puts our team in jeopardy. But she's progressing well.
You're hoping to get Dikema back after the Olympic break. That didn't quite happen.
Yeah.
How does that kind of change your plan for the rest of this season, who are you going to expect to step up into the
Yeah, no, it's to be honest, a little frustrating and disappointing. I think from a salary cap standpoint and from a roster spot standpoint, we planned to have her. So, we respect and understand in terms of national team commitments and things that it's an Olympic year, so we could get that aspect of it. But in terms of our team this year, what we're trying to build going forward, we've tried to carve out, space for Maria to be here. And so without her being here, it hurts our team, just to keep it real. But we'll consider what options and alternatives we have as a team, as an organization, on how we want to move forward. We have to have players here, so that we can assess and evaluate how to put this roster together to compete to win now, next year, and moving forward. But it does create opportunity for others. We feel like Lauren Cox kind of landed on and jumped off the plane, and it was really good for us the last couple of weeks before the break. And that was without really understanding anything about our terminology, about what we want to get accomplished on defensive and offensive possessions. But because of her basketball IQ and her feel for the game, she was able to just kind of find her way. So we think there's an opportunity for her to expand her role and her minutes. We'll have to obviously manage Shanae's minutes, but there's an opportunity there. We'll manage Nneka properly, even though she's always going to look great, but we have to be smart about how far we push her starting out. And then Nia Coffey, who really has been valuable, just like utility player, whether she's guarded centers, fours, threes, twos, she's done everything. There'll still be, great opportunity there for her as well. So we're not going to make any excuses. We got 10 right now that we can go with. And if Shanae's still delayed, Cardi Samuelson's still here with us. She's been great to have and helps us. So we're going to figure it out, though, for sure. And we're just looking forward to getting started again.
Nneka just said she feels better, stronger, incrementally, almost daily. Do you see that out there on the court?
Yeah, I'm constantly asking just to make sure. But we do see it out on the court, and I think more so than us as a staff or as an organization, like her teammates, they feel a sense of stability, more confidence about who we are when Nneka's on the court. And that's the impact that she has on any team she's ever been a part of. That's just who she is. That's why we've chosen to build what we're going to build going forward with her. It's because she has that kind of impact. So it's been great to have her out there on the court. We tried to be smart, push our team, challenge them, get them outside of their comfort zone, but also, if we don't have Nneka or Kristi or all of our players available, when we get to the 15th, 17th, 19th, and every other day, then none of it, it's not going to work the way we feel like it can work. So looks great, feels great to have her back on the court.
Nneka was saying that composure is kind of the point of emphasis with the guys.
Yeah.
In what ways is having Nneka and Kristi on the court help in that regard?
Well, I think, veteran players that are as experienced as they both are in life and on the court, I think it helps all teams. And elite teams are player-led. Coaches, management, ownership, we try and help them set the table. But then once the table is set, they have to then handle it from there. And so Kristi and Nneka give us a chance to be a player-led team. We're still growing as a group, but their experience, they've won championships, they've been in the finals, they've played big playoff games, they've played with and are two of the best players to ever play in the WNBA. So that alone allows them to play with a level of confidence, composure, poise that are developing players. Ted Cooper, Nia Coffey, Garantis. We have a number of players that are still learning who they are in this league. So when you have those type of veterans, which is another thing that we missed over that multiple week stretch where they didn't play. We missed having that on the court. So not just their statistical production, but just who they are as women, that kind of helps keep us calm. And, when you're facing adversity, you need it.
Do two quick ones from Zoom. So we'll go to Michelle Vopel with ESPN.
Yeah, Coach Fisher, I apologize. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing really well on this particular Zoom because there's some basketballs in the background. But I wanted to double check. Did you say for sure that Nneka and Kristi will be playing Sunday? Is that definite right now? And then Shanae is still a wait and see.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yes, unless we do something ourselves that changes that. That's the way we see it right now. Like I said, Shanae's progressing daily, but there's no question our game plan for Shanae is going to be about game availability. So, there may be days that, whether you're here in the building or watching it virtually or whatever, what we're going to do with Shanae on practice days and non-game days is going to be all about making sure she's available to play. So we'll see, when we get to Sunday, whether or not that's an option right now. But for sure, over the next couple of weeks, we expect to have her back on the court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last up today, we'll go to Rashawn Haylock with KTLA and Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thanks, Rashawn. Appreciate you, man.
You mentioned earlier, going 5-on-5. It's a small thing, but kind of a big thing the way this year has gone. What was that like the first time, you were able to do that here in this restart? And what kind of, I guess, encouragement or hope does that give you, going forward here for the second half of the season?
Yeah, no, it was really exciting. Just, as a staff, I'm sure the players felt it as well, like having that opportunity to compete in a 5-on-5 situation. Like it's, once a season starts, you don't get very much of that anyway, just due to how many games you're playing, the rest and recovery that you need. But in a season where you've been injured a lot, on top of the Olympic break, you really haven't gotten the opportunity to do a lot of 5-on-5. So for us, it ended up kind of being a blessing in disguise that we didn't end up having any Olympians this year. It's something that we're going to, use in the right ways to push us in terms of inspiration and aspiration, motivation. But it was really good, just to see our group getting the chance to compete. Nneka, not having played since our game at Dallas back in late May. She needed these reps and will need, more reps as we go through this week. Kristi, the same thing. Like she's such a talented basketball player and does so many things well, like her timing and rhythm. It's important to be able to play basketball and get that back. So we're going to try to build on that, but there's no question that we also, we hold our breath every time we see all 10 players out there as well, because we don't want to do anything ourselves to mess that up. So kind of thinking of it almost like a football team at times, where you have to gauge how much tackling you're going to do during the week so that everybody's available for Sunday. And, that's the way we're going to try to move through this week, but still do enough to make sure we have that edge and we're ready to compete against Indiana.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.